we go. I just need to start recording. All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to do just dive defense?
Soldier.
Yeah, we could do a soldier. Better than Hog in 2018.
Okay, actually, alright, let's before we actually get started into the game, Pegs, because you planned most of this out with the Legion, right? So what were you guys' thought process around the comp that you have, and what were you trying to accomplish with it?
So, my thought he planned out most of the comp stuff, and for the Diva, it was more or less just to contest both high grounds, just in case they took them somehow.
Right.
The Zen for the Discord to help the soldier.
Okay.
And then Nano Visor, and then the Hanzo just for extra poke damage, and then run.
I guess why Ryan versus Arisa or Winston?
I don't know.
The shield's gonna help your supports. That's one.
Wow.
Well, kind of. Because you could still play the same supports without a Ryan though. But right, so anyway, I just.
To be fair, I wasn't even shielding anybody if I remember right, because everybody was playing Tapa Cafe. I was just kind of shielding myself.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so I mean, not that was my point, but mostly I just kind of wanted you to lay that out for us so that we know what to look for, and then that way you can look at what happens in the fight and let us know if you think it succeeded at what it was meant to accomplish or not.
Actually, now that I thought about it, this isn't even the comp that we planned. If I remember right, we were supposed to. It was supposed to be Arisa Diva, and then we would kind of cycle back and forth who would be contesting payload.
Okay.
Kind of like a turtle comp on top of Cafe. And I guess just by the time we got here, we just kind of forgot about it. If I remember right, because I know we at least talked about doing that, and I can't remember if that's I want to say that was the plan that we laid out.
Okay.
But I mean, honestly, we could have done the same thing with Ryan. My positioning was just kind of terrible.
Well, yes and no, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. I think I just wanted to hear what you guys had planned out and what that plan was basically. And that way we can go through it, and then we can talk about whether whether it worked or not, and then B, if that pick made sense. Because to be honest, this comp, honestly, it's doable. You just have to know what you're doing with it, right? And that's really the key to a lot of the picks that you see come out. Even weird picks, you pick them for a reason. So just making sure that we're being thoughtful about that, and that it's kind of part of the VODs, since it's something that you guys are starting to plan out together and stuff.
Okay.
But okay, cool. All right, so that's the point. Let's see where you guys set up.
Listen, I'm not saying that Hog's a bad character. He's just not a great pick.
Did I do okay on Hog Coast?
Freddy, you're echoing.
I thought I muted myself.
Okay. So support the soldier holding here. Burger, you're on high ground. Moon, position wherever you see fit.
If I get attacked, I'm gonna drop.
Yeah, see.
Cool.
I definitely feel like I should have been playing on top of Cafe.
I mean,
yes. Well, okay. So
this is again going back to the yes and no thing about playing Ryan. Is that Ryan can play this corner fine if you play Zarya. Because
honestly, I think you can play this corner fine even with the Diva. It's just that you need someone with you. So looking at where the team is positioned here, that should probably be Moon, and I think he kind of backs up, but I
think he backs up eventually, but let's see.
He backs up eventually, but he doesn't back up behind a shield. So actually, can you pause for a sec? Okay, so going back to what you were saying about potentially playing Arisa, right? This is kind of why like on ladder at least, she's pretty popular on this point because you can take advantage of that range. Because the thing is, like, realistically, if you play as Ryan on top of Cafe, sure, you're shielding your team, but like, what are you contributing otherwise? Right?
Besides like random fire strikes, that's about it.
Right. So like, you're not able to really do anything, and you're not even contesting the point. So it's like, if they just jump on point, someone's got to walk down. So that someone's eventually, it's going to be you anyway, and then your team's not shielded. So this isn't on you by any means, and it's not even that Ryan is like a problem. It's just one of those things where, like, because this is the comp that you picked, all of you need to think about, like, all right, how do we maximize what we have, and how do we position differently in order to do that? So basically, TLDR, what I'm really saying is, whether you play Winston, Orisa, or Ryan, the rest of the team needs to set up accordingly, so that they can do their jobs and support you at the same time, and you're not just like basically weird, like forcing like a weird 5v6 by like not playing with your tank, right? So it's like, this is kind of this is part of it. So the setup here where you're all in Cafe is, it's not like terrible, and in general I would say like Soldier and Ana together up here is totally fine, because as you'll see later, like when Genji and Sombra come to contest you, like Soldier's healing pad really helps shore up Ana's weakness with not having like self regen, and then also with the two, like, it's like a lot harder for a flanker to poke both of them together, because Soldier should be helping to like deter like the DPS, and then Ana's pocketing him when they get attacked, right? The only thing is, as tanks and for everyone else, like if you guys are fighting on the point, you have to be very aware of where your Ana can see you. So like, I'm gonna steal control for a second. So like where you are, it's fine. So she can see, like, I want to say up here, but then once you start getting into like this area really close to the wall, it's really, really hard for her to hit you, because like you're blocked by this like overhang. So it's like, ideally if she set up here, Zen would want to be somewhere where he can see you guys down here. And but yeah, like you basically want enough people taking advantage of your shield that you're able to pressure the other team together, and it's not just like you chilling over here by yourself.
Okay.
The other thing that's a little bit more hypothetical too is like, if they rolled out with like a Widow or a Hanzo, everyone up here just immediately becomes like a sitting duck, because there's like not really any cover for them.
So it's like they need to be prepared to move. So it's like, it's fine to start up here. Like what I like doing like on Ana is like, I'll start up here. Usually there's like a Widow or a Genji or something, and like if it's just Genji and you have Soldier with you and you trust the Soldier, like maybe I stay up here. If there's not, then usually I actually play the mini health pack, or you can also play, can't see it, but like
back toward the other spawn.
Not the other spawn, but the
like boxes and
boxes,
trash or dumpster.
Yep, exactly. And then you kind of just like rotate between that and the mini room and use this like pillar as like, I can't see, or like I can't draw it because it's like just out of the edge of the video, but you know what I mean. It's just like you rotate around between the two doors in the bottom left over here.
Okay.
Ana, Lucio dive. I'm not sure about their DPS.
Genji.
Genji's Sombra's probably going behind. Orb's on you, Burger. Genji's discorded. Diva's low.
Turtle by Cafe.
Yep.
Alright, can you pause here? Alright, one other thing. So I would say actually your tanks, you guys are fine. Burger, that was actually a really good like poke and disengage. Like you kind of like push them a little bit, but you didn't like walk fully into them, just to like keep them from getting a little too aggro. Weirdly enough, the issue is kind of this. In terms of like, you have a Hanzo and you have a soldier. They're shooting from
the same place. Not really.
The exact same sightlines right now. So you're not going to cover a lot, right? So like they're playing Winston, so kind of they don't have like a lot of shielding, but at the same time, if they had a Ryan, they literally just walk in behind him and block both of you. Like neither of you are getting any value like that. What you ideally want to do, especially with two long-range DPS like this that both have I mean, like, okay, soldier isn't like strong burst, but like they both have high damage potential, right? Like you're not playing like a Pharah and a flanker, or like a soldier and a flanker, or anything like that. Excuse me. So ideally what you want to do is kind of set up like you would like with double sniper, where you're fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Where you're playing different silent. So like soldier maybe covers this, right? And then Hanzo instead could be like over here, or like climb, like, you know, like climbing up, dropping back, rotating down the stairs this way, and playing behind Rhine Shield, which like you were holding this corner, right? So kind of like
or even like a more, it's a little bit mechanically harder, but like you can charge bow, climb up, peek up to take a shot if they're gonna stay up on that high ground, and then just drop down and keep repeating that like wall run motion. That way you're not committing to that ground at all.
Yep.
But then this helps you out too, Tex, because like then you could play that corner more like we said, and someone's with you, the Hanzo, who can actually like disperse damage from your shield. Because as it is, they take this high ground and they immediately force you to cafe. Like, they haven't even actually, like, touched you.
Right. And I mean, like, on Rhine, you're not necessarily going to be contesting that high ground anyway, but it's just, like, if Hanzo is with D.Va, like, maybe they can poke a little harder. Maybe they can get some early picks with Storm. Like, it's just enough time to, like, DM Storm, like, have Burger DM Moon while he uses Storm Arrow. But then also, if he's playing, like, this staircase or even just this angle, you're kind of forcing them from two different directions, right? Because all of a sudden they have to worry about soldiers shooting this way, and Hanzo shooting this way. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong color. Hanzo shooting this way. So like they need to be a lot more careful about how they approach, because if they shield towards one, or if they focus one side, the other guy's shooting them in the back. So that's kind of like ideally the type of like coverage you would want for your DPS, because it's easier for their team to die when that's the case, instead of both of you shooting from the same angle.
A more risky play, but you could do this if they like engaged onto point, is if one of the DPS rotate to this area right here, and then you get this whole sightline too on the point. But that's like further into the fight.
And also, I think that door is really good, like, if one of the DPS dies and they come back. Like, if you come through this door, it's, like, you can, especially for snipers, like, you can definitely get a lot of kills on point while people, like, think they're winning, and then you just walk through the door and get 3k.
Okay.
That's like a great soldier spot, by the way.
Alright, so, actually, can you... Who got hacked? Did you
get
hacked?
It was me.
You?
Yeah.
Okay.
She came through the bottom of the cafe and hacked me.
Okay. So I'm just going to point out real quick that you call that you get hacked, and then you run into the enemy team.
Yeah.
There's a room over here that's safe. Burger is here to back you up and contest the point while you let it wear off. It's only 6 seconds. You don't need to be here. So if you get hacked because you're like, Ryan is legitimately just one of the easiest targets, as I'm sure you know. Once you get hacked, there's just not much that you can do, except your team needs to dump resources into you, basically, to keep you safe. I would say if you have an angle to back out, just back out. Like, you can it's only 6 seconds. Well, it's not only 6 seconds. It's 6 seconds. Like, you can re-engage, and you can still swing from, like, you know, within this room out. Like, if they try to push you, But also, not only is there that many in here, you're Rhine. So if the 2 dive tanks try to push you into like this room right here, you are a lot more likely to win that fight. And also, like, Anna can just come stairs and like nade both of them or and bio nade you if need be. Like, you've got support in this room, so don't. How do I put this? Even main tanks who have shields should play around cover sometimes when you need it, because you like your shield's gonna go down at some point. So that's like something to be mindful of.
Alright, we all good.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you. Break down this bubble. Diva's escorted. Kill the Diva.
Pushing Diva. Nice.
Okay, you're anti, be careful. Summer's Cafe. Open Dragon. Oh, no.
That was pretty good. How like you guys recognize the D was pushed up a little bit, you immediately go to her.
Repositioning back on top of Cafe.
Where did Moon die? Like, where was he? Do you see
He
him?
died in the street.
Yeah, he's like main.
He was frontliner.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Let's see where he goes.
Let me see real
I
quick.
like
Yeah.
him.
Pretty sure that was the spot.
Yeah, so we're all on
He
Diva.
pushes up top.
Top.
He was top right.
But that's not where he dies, right?
No, he
'Cause they
drops down.
Oh, he drops down and he's in streets.
would've-
Yo,
He's
dude.
like car.
You probably had somebody low and was trying to finish it.
We've gotten on you about this moon on Zen, and you did the
Yeah.
same thing on Hanzo.
You're definitely worse on Hanzo than on Zen, but it's like the same idea. Like, you're basically trying to push into like a 1v
3, 4.
5.5. It's really dangerous to do that, and then also because like Hanzo has, like, you already use your leap, so you don't have anything to like
You have no escape
get
tool.
out. Yeah. And your team's still on point, so like no one can help you. Maybe unless like Elysian and Dragon can see you and can pocket the shit out of you, but like, why put your team in that position?
They're
You know
also
what I mean?
busy like helping the tanks because the tanks just came off of anti-nade. They need to be healed up. You have no resources going to you. Like, it's fine to push up on like a retreating team as a group, but you're like, you can't be doing this solo.
Yeah. Also, one thing I'm going to point out, because like I think Dragon's like back here somewhere. I don't see him on top.
He's
I
right
think
underneath
he's, like, in
there.
the bottom somewhere. Yeah. So on this map, the minute that you walk around this pillar and this car right here, Anna can't see you at all. Like,
That's a
it
virtual
is-
no man's land right there.
it is, and also like right here, like if you're in the doorway, you're fine. But once you're like past this door jam, your supports can't, like, they want to help you, but they can't see you to do it. So in order for them to do it, they would have to like move up into like these positions where they would get poked down and die. So like, don't put your supports in that position. Like, basically know your limits, like know how far you can go and then where to have a backup plan.
And we actually want to ask you this question, Dragon, because you're not here. You gotta talk more, especially if like a tank or someone goes out of your line of sight and you can't heal them. Like, I don't think you talk a single word in Hollywood at all.
I
That
think
I
you
can
say
hear.
maybe like 2 lines. But yeah, definitely, and this isn't just for like this isn't just for whoever's playing Anna. It's like any healer that require. Well, just kidding. Every single support requires line of sight. So like, if you have someone that you're trying to help and you can't see them, tell them to back out, and tell them where they should be. Like, don't put yourself in a bad position to like try and save them if they're going too far.
At the same time, you also need to talk if like, because you get hacked a couple times later on and like you don't say anything. No one even knows the Sombra's behind because you get hacked and don't say anything.
Yep. All right, we good?
Creatively, just back up. Press D.
Just,
Alright. Repositioning back on top of Cafe.
yeah, just turtle back cafe again then.
Summer shielding.
I'm hacked
Mind
again.
your own bees. Ooh, that's rough.
And slept, and I did break it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's-
You get hacked, and that's kind of
and
rough.
slept.
What
And
was the?
slept.
What was the
But you also get isolated in bubble, so you can't get healed.
Yeah.
can I hear that real quick, though? If you
I
don't
did
mind.
break it,
Go
I'm sorry.
back.
I'm hacked again. I'm
Go
hacked.
back to what?
Back more.
And
Alright,
repositioning back
I
on
want to
top
hear
of
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just turtle back cafe again then. Burger.
Okay, actually, pause. Right here, where you are, Tags,
You gotta be yelling at you guys.
your supports can't see you. On this side of the card, it's like really hard to see you from the second floor. So this isn't just for you. Actually, like if you need it, because like you get hacked, you need to use the car for cover. You need to use the room for cover. Sometimes it's actually better to play on the first floor here, for this reason, because like maybe so the problem is there's really nothing that anyone could have done because the Winston also drops the bubble. Like you get slept, and then the Winston also drops the bubble on you, which was, I don't know if it was intentional. I wouldn't think so. But it pretty much fucked you over. Like there's, even if who's on Anna? Dragon was on the first floor, he wouldn't have been able to help you. But
And just in general, like, even going back before, this is like a really weird retreat, because I just want to see how like things set up, because like Burger's kind of just here, and then
and Moon's still coming
he
back,
like
I think.
abandons you.
Yeah, so they immediately rushed for him.
And
Yeah, so Burger also could have just eaten that too.
Yeah, it's like you're kind of retreating. You retreat into a space where like the healers can't see you, but it should be safe. But then you get abandoned, and then it's just the most unfortunate circumstances of CC and hacking just happen to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what happens in organized Overwatch. It's like there's a misstep like that, and you just straight up die for it.
But also, Dragon, where are you going? Does he get booped off, or is he jumping off?
There is a Lucio up there, yeah.
Yeah,
and
he might
Yeah, he
get.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he gets booped off.
Oh, cause yeah, this is what I mean though, right? Cause like, so Dragon is over here because he was trying to heal you where you were, like over here, right? And because he's on the edge, and he still can't see you, Lucio just gets like this free boop. Also, their Lucio is very annoying, but yeah, that's why like this general region when you're playing with an Anna on the second floor is actually kind of weird. It's oddly easier if you're like on the cart, or if you like are hacked, like even going into the room might be better. But ideally it's like the same thing honestly with your healers, right? Well, Dragon was here. Like your supports, when your supports have the same sightline, like it's not always a bad thing. Like I know like Hanamura, generally you have the supports playing the same corner, and like Volskaya the same thing, but like these are kind of the issues that you run into with like people line of sighting both supports at the same time because you're in the same place. So just like something to consider for like how you position as a team.
Yeah, and like if a support positioned in like a different spot or anything like that, you could still retreat to that spot that you deem as safe, and someone would be there to help you out, or they should be there to help you out. The fact that both of them are just in the same spot means they get the same like blind spots too.
Yeah.
And therefore you guys have limited your own safe area.
Wait, good. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Careful, Genji.
Oh, okay. So Dragon's alone. He's not dead yet, but he's probably about to die.
Where'd he end up going? He's underneath.
I think he's yeah.
Oh,
he's
he backs
backing
up
out
to box.
He's trying to back out to boxes.
Yeah, Winston sees him.
Oh, Diva knocked me off. Okay.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Anna. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm gonna die. I'm dead. You can win your down both supports.
That was
Freddy,
almost
can you mute
a
yourself?
really good Dragon. Oh yeah, I can hear the background. Sorry, dude.
How the hell? Hold on.
That was almost a really good Dragon. I just covered the wrong half of them.
So beware. Okay, now that can be decent. Helps us on high ground.
Okay, I would say the other thing. Okay, here, Burger, I'm gonna pick on you. You're the only person left, and you just left the point.
I think he went back because Hanzo's in this room too.
Yeah.
Moon is back in there.
Oh.
This actually ends up working out
Anything.
a little bit. It's kind of
Wait,
weird.
how did? Oh, Moon. Okay, Moon did come back.
Moon is
I
up
didn't see
there.
him. I didn't see him.
Moon still dies, but Burger contests right there, and it lets the shatter happen.
Yeah. They still lose this though.
They used to lose this because it's kind of a.
Hacks again.
Well, they end up the other team does dump like 4 ults into it though.
They
So.
wasted blade.
Yeah.
They wasted both DPS ults there. That's not going to be good for them.
I mean, for how it went,
Yep.
Yeah.
you got a bunch of ults out of them.
Probably stick on.
Okay.
On a Zen
Okay.
for a bit.
JK Burger. Once again, Moon, your entire team just died. What are you doing? I'm pretty sure he gets picked here.
Here.
By
I mean,
Genji.
so here's what.
Uh,
There's gonna be a bigger point. I want to run this through real quick.
Do we want to use Visor first?
Yes.
Go ahead, solve it.
So we call for a comp switch.
Moon, can you play Genji?
I can do my best.
That's all we ask.
Good
Alright,
seeing you.
I'm gonna hold top of
But
the-
you like take this fight anyway. I mean,
I mean, I
so
think he was trying to suicide at that point, but
yeah, but like you can make the more conscious decision to just back out like faster, go change and regroup. And that's probably like the safer option rather than just feeding yourself.
or like wait for your team before you leave.
Because the team is here already,
Yeah.
and then you just died.
The biggest thing about that, like I know you were gonna switch anyway, but like now you have to wait 10 seconds and they can't engage because they have to wait on you to respawn. And they literally just all respawned. So it's like that's 20 seconds of the game gone, and then you also still have to leave spawn and like get to the cart. So this is like free push, and they're gonna get pretty much I think almost the entire way in that amount of
Yeah,
time.
this whole point just snowballs.
No, I.
Yeah,
I
because
that.
like 20 seconds is like an entire fight basically, and now your team can't take a fight because they're going in 5v6 if they do.
I see this idea where you're trying to take this high ground, which is fine. I think that's what you're supposed to do. But Burger,
Be careful. Be careful.
you gotta follow him up, dude.
Jump back.
You gotta help him out.
And then I mess up my jump here. I think I like clipped the boxes.
Also, a little bit back there. I think it's Moon.
Smart, but I'll try my best. You know, going Genji into a lane seems smart, but
Never question the plan. You clutter up
They-
comms. You bring
Yeah.
negative feelings into the comms.
And also keep in mind that the other team is also playing Genji into Winston and it's working out pretty well. So like if you're not confident on Genji, that's one thing, but like yeah. Don't
We
phrase it that way.
played Genji into a good bit
I mean,
before.
just in general, don't. If a shot caller gives you a plan, sure, in your opinion, it may suck. Don't question it. That's what VOD review is for. That's what we're here
Yeah.
to determine things like that. And honestly, you could have stuck on Hanzo if you weren't comfortable on Genji. I actually think Hanzo is perfectly
Yeah.
fine on this point, even with dive tanks, because you still have wall run and you have the vertical mobility to contest these high grounds.
And honestly, because of Sonic Arrow, Hanzo is actually one of the strongest counters to Sombra because he's also really good in like close quarters, unlike Widow. So it's a lot harder for like Sombra to pick you off.
Yeah. And you have vision too. If you like smartly
Yeah.
time your vision on your backline, you can
Yeah.
generally see like sneaking Sombras coming.
It zones her out. It has the capability of zoning her out of like big chunks of space if you suspect she's going to be playing around certain health packs and stuff, and it just like tells your team when she's there. But yeah, I think going back to that, like if you're not comfortable on Genji, just say that you're not comfortable on Genji, and then your shot caller can come up with another plan. But like, yeah, I just wouldn't phrase it like that.
I'll try my best.
Well, I mean, there were dive matchups. Who knows how long ago? Okay, Winston's on high ground. He's gonna have jump again.
Messed up my
Careful of
jumps.
that. I don't know, sleep. They're just playing cart right now. I have trans.
Just go card. Just go card.
He was escorted.
And also, actually, I was here. At that point, like when you jumped for this high ground, you could actually have jumped over here instead. Because like the cart's passing through this way, so the time's been like I want to say you want to take the left side. Probably. Fuck. Why does this always happen? Probably like the first fight.
Which
Like,
is already come and gone.
which is already
Yeah.
come and gone because Moon died really late. And then second fight, usually you would want to take like up here, because the cart's passing through this way, and that way you can drop down from this side, drop down from this side, drop down from that side.
Also, another thing you can do if you want to take, like, if you want to contest cart like this, like, you can, if you still had jump, you could take this, like, ledge right here and poke down, or, like, even this balcony right here. Those are safe places for you to, like, poke from.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is, again, a situation, Burger, you're going to get picked on a lot here today.
You make some good plays too.
You make some
so
good plays.
It
But,
won't
like,
be
dude.
Summer's mine.
I'm a Lucio.
Summer a chance.
And you go for this peel, but you're, like, way far behind on it.
Feels good, man.
Your main tank dies. You half commit to things. And it's just a matter of, like, where you start a fight or, like, where your initial placement is, because you kind of need to be everywhere at once. And from the point where you walked over like that and used your bunny hop already, you don't have the ability to get to either of the places you need to be in a reasonable amount of time.
And one more thing, I'm not sure what you were doing over there. I imagine.
I think he was following up after
Okay.
Tags missed his jump, but Tags already made the call to rotate to cart.
Okay. Yeah, so for things like that, you know, sometimes it comes with time, I think, and just like playing with your teammates, but it's kind of something I think both of us have told you about playing D.Va in general is like your D.Va's a very forward-looking character, so you almost have to like, okay, this has already happened. You need to be where the next thing is going to happen, if that makes sense.
She's a reactive hero, but with game sense, you should kind of already know what you're gonna react to before it happens. Things things like Winston jumps, where like they're gonna like dive into your backline. You're already looking for it. You back up a little bit because you know like the arc of the jump, and you just go and boop them away and block like the jump. Just as a weird example.
So basically, you have to, like, part of it is pre-planning what you're going to react to so that you can plan out your abilities and cooldowns. Like,
and bunny hop's like a short enough cooldown, but like sometimes like 5 seconds is still a long time, and you can abandon yourself in these corners if you like use it and don't realize what the next part of the plan is. This is pretty unfortunate only because I think all of you went for this like behind this box, and I think Elysian gets forced out.
no, he skates a little bit too far because I think he's on speed.
No, he's Zen.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if he gets forced out. I think he slides a little too far past the corner. Like he was safe.
I'm almost.
He's like in between
really
like
body blocked for Anna.
No, he's right here. That's why the bomb lands here. So.
Sorry, do you mind if I
He meant to be here.
I want to see because I thought he went right there.
I mean,
He's just a little bit too far around the corner of the.
So he's right here right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he slides up a little bit.
What?
He slides up.
Okay.
Lucky.
bomb
Okay, just
physics.
get back. Just die.
Yeah. We can
Okay,
regroup
that's a good call.
That's-
Okay, so Burger, the call is to just die, and you take the longest possible loop that you can.
I mean,
yeah.
good on you for like trying to reset yourself, but like
Yeah,
you gotta beeline that shit, friend.
Does he know deflect?
Yeah.
And then this is like,
This is just like throwing bodies on the point to stall as much as you can, but you're also
I
definitely not gonna win this fight.
really mind
yeah,
it, but
I think this fight's already over, and you guys should already be like thinking about the comp change. You don't have. If you had Primal, this could be a much more defensible position, but
Summer no E.
meh.
Oh
I'm right
shit.
there, I'm almost. Okay, no. Get back.
Moon doesn't make it. You guys get staggered even more.
I sleep.
Honestly, if we can run goats into this,
That's important.
any variant really.
Jesus.
Actually, Jesus randomly bails you out.
Yeah.
That was very
Actually,
staggered here. Get out if you can.
I forgot that he gets
When
like
you're
2
fine
insane
anyway.
picks here.
Yeah.
Just get back all the way back.
And then dies.
And then dies.
This
But-
is
But the thing is, like, at this point, you guys have spawn advantage, so it's not as bad that he dies, but Burger losing mech is really bad.
yeah.
Yeah,
Lucio, on our back line.
we're going goats.
Our back line is way too far up.
It's okay, it's okay. Just get back, just die. We
Oh,
want
you
to
got chased by
totally do-
Lucio.
we
Also-
don't want-
Game pause. Well, then I'm gonna say too, like, this change, I know you guys wanted to play goats, but you completely lost sight of ults on the other team, and you're reset. Like, you basically have at most 2 fights left because of how staggered you've been for like the last 3.5 fights, and you've just reset your entire ult economy. And you're gonna reset it again because everyone's literally switching off of what they're playing, right? So, I mean, like, you guys remember exactly what happens, right? But just, like, be careful, because you are, like, 70% of the way to Transcendence, and, like, it might be worth staying on Zen to counter that if you can, instead of swapping immediately to Lucio. Or, if you're going to swap to Lucio, have a plan for how you're going to deal with EMP.
We're gonna confuse the shit out of you because on your attack we're gonna make almost the opposite point. But this is a sense of like being aware of everything and what happens and like having
Every
that reflect
situation.
into your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
want to get staggered back out.
But yeah, this next fight's pretty rough. There's not really much to say besides you guys got ult comboed.
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as he's back, we're gonna start pushing forward again.
Poor Burger.
55 to back.
Oh, that was big.
More like poor everyone.
Poor everyone, yeah, but I'm just like, oh man.
Oh, he's huge.
Wow. That's not quite what I was expecting. I'm gonna try to get out. Thank you, squad armor.
Moon's armor got you out of there. But you got out.
Okay.
Okay, actually, pause for a second. Sorry, this is a little forward. You do this a couple of times because the Genji blades. One thing you can do on Lucio if you don't have barrier to counter Genji's ult is just speed boost everybody. Look for his first dash and boop him away from the team.
Mm-hmm.
Because with speed, like, it's counterintuitive because it's like you think you're like, oh, he's doing a lot of damage, I need to kill people, but like you're not going to be able to catch up even with amp, right? With like the amount of damage that he's putting out with at 120 per swing and it's like 180 with nano, whatever. It's 120 and up, right? That's a lot of damage.
Plus, if he like
So-
dash slashes you, that just pretty much
It's
kills
like-
you.
It's an instant.
Yeah, it's just under 3.
Yeah, so like you're not gonna be able to out heal that like without like a transcendence or like an ult of some kind. What you can do instead is just speed boost everyone so that if like it does a couple of things. So one, it allows your team to scatter much more quickly and at a longer distance, which makes it hard for Genji to dash between his targets. And also, because you're suddenly moving at a different speed, it makes it a lot more difficult for a lot of players. Like, not just Genji, but like Hitscan and like any DPS to like track you as well. Because suddenly you're moving at a different speed. So they're a lot more likely to miss. And also, so Genji, if he doesn't get the dash reset, like if he's not getting as many kills as he needs to get, is actually kind of stranded. Like, you don't want to be around him, but he's a lot easier to contain if he misses one of his dashes.
So like,
especially during Blade.
yeah, so like she said, after that first dash, if you boop him away and prevent him from killing someone and getting the reset, you can almost just like walk away from ulting Genji.
Yeah. And also, like, depending on the Genji, sometimes they'll just, like, beeline for the Lucio anyway. Even if he gets you, if you juke him far enough away from the rest of your team and he only gets one kill with Blade, like, that's still worth. In that case, it's a little bit hard because I'm pretty sure all of you are EMP'd and Lucio can't do shit around a Sombra. So I can't remember if you got hacked or not. If you did, there's nothing that like there's nothing that you can do about it. But just as like a general tip for how to anti-Genji on Lucio without barrier.
I don't know, he gets EMP'd for sure.
He's back, we're gonna start pushing forward again.
Hold up.
Yeah.
55 in the back.
I think the next blade is the one that he could have gone out of.
Yeah. Alright, there's getting EMP bladed. There's not really much you can do.
Yeah.
That's not quite what I was expecting. I'm gonna try to get out. Thank you, split armor.
That was funny.
Otherwise, did a pretty good job of getting out.
This early diva bomb, if she had just saved it.
Oh no.
Got 30 at least.
This gets a little bit crazy.
Yeah, she's
This
like,
man, this is
Basically,
actually one of them.
Summer 2, Summer.
Tags-
Summer's half. Summer no E.
the Teg's shatter, I think, wins the fight here.
Yeah. Two things. It's like two things happen. One, the tag shatter, but two, it's kind of on
the diva bomb too. Like got the diva mech.
the
Like,
diva
it's just
bomb
like
that DMAC diva, but their time to kill was slow.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you guys had really great ults, but there's a little bit of luck in here on your guys'
I
side.
think-
Hey,
There's
they
a
had
little bit of luck, but
call outs
oh,
there.
sorry.
Somebody was calling out Sombra, and then y'all turned around and got her.
Yeah, I think too. The other thing, this point, and this is why Ryan is so good on this point, right? Is that verticality matters a lot less once you clear like the stairs. Like outside of hit scan, standing on like this
On like the balcony, yeah.
on this balcony and ulting down on everyone, like Ryan is quite powerful here because you can basically just block off the choke, right? So basically they're pushing into you guys. They no longer have superior ult economy, so you guys are coming up on them. I want to say their diva used her bomb a little bit too early, so she didn't actually get enough zoning value out of it for them to like fully push the card in. And then you guys come out and they're trying to dive goats, and that's
Hard.
yeah, that's part of why goats exist. So, like, you guys have a lot more of an advantage here. But I will say, Burger, good job with like the zoning bomb. I think this is hard. It mostly just is like practice. I think I want to say if you'd thrown it a little bit closer, maybe on the cart, like Winston would have had bubble anyway. But if he hadn't, it might have gotten more value. Like, I think it might have been a bit far, even without Winston Bubble, to get more than the Diva Mech.
This
But it was still,
this
like,
bomb
the
is
idea was right.
more defensible because it's kind of like a last minute, like, you gotta
Yeah,
chuck
yeah.
in and get something. You have a lot of bombs on attack that are very not defensible. But we'll get into that later.
But the idea is right. I think about where you want the bomb to land.
Big slam, Koviana. Nice.
Lucier now, Lucier one by box.
Can you push this monkey? Don't C9 though, don't C9. Oh, push the monkey.
Don't see nice. They're all gone. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't want to see that.
Okay,
I
so
just love
mini
that
to
anytime
our
you
left
guys
is half.
push, Moon is always like 50 million miles in front of.
This is good on you, Burger, for trying to spy check. You unfortunately like just miss her, and then like when they engage, you just start ignoring your backline. You do need to keep spy checking here because she is very close.
Be careful with that.
I think part of that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, you have to, the more you play, the more you'll realize Sombra, like, flankers only have very limited points of entry on all the maps. And so, like, once you know where they're likely to try to go, it'll be a lot easier for you to, like, spy check. Because you'll know, like, which angles to shoot at.
But A+ on the effort. I'll give you an A for
Thanks,
effort.
I'm hoping you charge that, by the way. That's no charge that. Like back into their spawn.
Okay, monkey no jump, just wait. Kill the Genji. Amp heals on point, there it is.
That's
It
rough.
seems like they don't have the blade though, I'm almost to
So again, this is where their time to kill fails them.
Yeah.
They're not killing you guys fast enough.
And also just the general lack of coordination. Like, their Sombra EMP's way too early. Like, if she'd waited for Blade, they probably would have dunked you guys. But because they actually have, they're coming up on
Speeding away.
all their ults right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, what happened?
I want to see. I messed up the camera
I
here,
didn't bat it
but
up.
I want to see where he was.
He's on a max. Speeding away.
He's just right in front of it.
What?
He didn't
Bruh.
have fade up.
Why are you up here?
He might not have had it.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
I don't
didn't.
know if it,
He didn't.
Oh,
He faded. He
Did
faded
he fade
away.
Back hard again.
I wanna see how you
he
get
gets
into this
faded.
position.
He gets faded, and then he gets EMP'd. Actually, it probably is back by then.
It seems
I
like
think
they don't
there
have
is
the
enough
blade, though. They don't have
time.
blade.
I'm not
I'm
sure.
almost to,
He faded to get away from the
So
Genji. That was very
Uh,
nice.
He's on a max. Speeding away.
But he fades into their back line.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have.
It was a very nice fade to get away from the Genji. But
Okay, so that blade right there, where you're on heel and you're like dancing around the trailer, that one you could be sped away from it. Like, if you hop over the trailer and LOS him and he has to follow you, he doesn't get the kill.
Grab as soon as you get it, if you can.
D.Va stunned. Almost hacked.
Falling point.
I'm coming back with barrier. I don't know, nade.
I'm close to bomb. If I can get that.
Speeds up.
nice.
Probably didn't need to use that.
Nice.
Unlucky.
Y'all gotta kill that.
That's a really good.
Angry monkey's feeding.
It was
Trying to
good.
win this
Dude.
at all
It
costs.
was good. Unfortunate.
This poor Winston, like, what's he gonna do against 3 tanks?
Decent slam.
No.
Um,
I
Nice
don't know, nade.
combo.
I'm pushing on.
Genji.
That's
Not really an intentional combo, but
definitely not an intentional combo. Which
no.
we brought it up in between the games. You guys definitely for sure. I mean, it's kind of hard. This is like the heat of the moment. Like shit, we just gotta get bodies on point. We gotta stall this out. But like, if you ever see those opportunities, you need to take them.
Yeah,
So
and
that's-
also,
sorry, go ahead.
oh sorry, I was gonna say, you still have a minute left. You got 2 games left, so yeah, like, these are any ults that you get at this point, you need to use them carefully and like maximize the value. So if you guys actually combo like Shatter and D.Va Bomb and get, I mean, like, you still win the fight, so like there's not much else to say about it, but you know what I mean, like, if you're gonna use the only 2 ults that you have up at this moment, then you need to be able to maximize the value that you get out of it. Because you've still got 2 more fights to go, at least.
Genji.
I'm coming back. I isolated those supports. It's okay.
It's just them playing
Same thing, just hold the
Winston Genji into triple tank.
Come back, hold card.
Yeah,
Yep.
but that's good. We recognize.
Burger, keep in mind that you
Comp,
can
we
be
made
like
the switch.
flashing a lot for the Sombra.
The counters
Kinda
you keep.
spray behind us.
Alright, it's more on them failing to adapt.
I keep getting
Exactly, but still.
Because I
if they
think
can't
this was
fill
our
that,
plan to begin with.
She just died. She's probably repositioning behind us now.
Right
Goes
back
on
now.
cart.
No, they
I heard
switch.
a voice line.
Yeah, I heard her.
Alright, can you pause here first? Alright, so good on Elysian to call out that Sombra might be behind you and might be going to like position. However, both Burger and Dragon just go on this like spy checking adventure while a fight is happening on the point. I don't know how you guys win because actually it's probably because Moon is ulting, but like that's really dangerous because you basically have your off tank who is a huge defensive like part of the fight and your main healer kind of just bail on the team fight. Don't do that.
I mean,
You want to check for Sombra, but like it's not worth abandoning your team to do it.
Yeah. I mean, D.Va, in GOATS, D.Va gets this weird job of, like, trying to take care or, like, try to mitigate things that are outside the reach of GOATS. Like, things that are on, like, high ground or, like, things that are a little bit far away. Like, that's kind of D.Va's job, but I don't know what you're doing back there, Dragon. But, I mean, both of you could definitely, for sure, be a little bit closer to your team. But this is kind of going back to the first point and this idea of playing, like, Rein D.Va. Like, now that you have Rein Zarya, do you feel like you have a lot more agency to do your thing, Tex?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely felt like I could have played like a lot more aggressive with bubbles instead of like a DM. And then like
Now
I don't know. I feel like
Sombra.
Jesus
Nice,
really
nice, nice. I went right over
cycled
the
his
line.
bubbles really well, which helped a
Pushing up,
lot.
pushing up.
Yeah, careful, Sombra back cap. You're empty, you're empty. There's one, there's one.
Kill around, kill around, kill around.
Alright,
Also, just real quick, Sombra's not gonna back cap if all of you are on the cart. So. I'm not sure what you're. I think
you're so paranoid about it that
I
like
think you're afraid that she's behind you. Like, I think that's what you meant to say, but I just thought that was funny. I'm sorry.
you got at least you, Elysian, you're really paranoid.
Play to win, don't play to lose.
He's on Lucio, dude. You can't blame him.
nice.
Lucio one, Lucio one, Lucio one.
But I do like going back here 5 seconds,
Kill around.
Alright,
where like you make that call to kill that Ryan because he kind of pushes and gets a little bit split.
Yeah, careful, Sombra back cap. You're empty, you're empty. There's one.
Like his team just abandoned him, and you guys got to
Yeah.
push into him for free.
Nice.
Lucio one, Lucio one, Lucio one.
Push in on him, push in.
We can stop them from even getting this.
Alright, we have grab, we have Bolas. Just grab as soon as you see a good one. I'll swing into it.
I like how you call for him. A very maybe not underappreciated, but a thing that I feel like more Zarya's could do, especially in these situations where there's literally like 9 seconds left. You could take these early grabs, and like you'll catch
And
like
just
3 or
grab
4
them.
people.
Yeah.
You're either gonna like force like a support or someone not really equipped to be on their own to take cart. You get to get free swings into their team and possibly kill them.
Oh yeah.
And then you
And
just
build
double
another
back to the
shatter.
point.
Yeah, and build another shatter too.
Yeah.
It's always great to do things
I
first.
believe Sombra's on top. She might have EMT again. Huge, 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 huge.
That stun for Moon. The stun on the Ryan, because I think he tries to shatter and he gets stunned and killed.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I did not notice.
Nice, cancel shatter, cancel shatter. Sombra behind Sombra. I don't know, sleep.
Kill Lucio on point. Lucio on point.
Big bomb question mark?
Nope.
Frame drops.
Kill Ana then Lucio. Kill Ana then Lucio. Ana then Lucio.
I like how you give a priority to when you're calling out these targets. It gets Elysian kind of muddles in there a little bit, but like you take charge and you present them this hierarchy of like things that need to die in this order. I think that's really great. And I think people take that a little bit more seriously when like you have this plan of like things need to die in this order.
I don't know if it's take it more seriously, but it's easier to follow because you have like a clear plan of action. Like after you kill this thing, you know where to go next, and it makes it a lot easier for the team to follow through because they can like already position themselves to like focus on the next target, if that makes sense, and make sure that it's not like too far away from them if they know what that target is.
Plus, it's like it doesn't prevent like other people that come in and touch cart. It doesn't prevent them from like splitting everyone's focus apart when you still have like, this is the plan, we gotta stick with this plan. Like, who cares if the Winston comes in, we need to kill the supports first, then we can kill the Winston.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how a lot of people lose fights like this, is where like they'll be winning, 2 people will stall the cart just long enough where like the focus is like kind of there, but then the third person jumps in and the focus just gets completely split apart and nothing dies. And then they eventually get bodies back on the point. They'll get like a lucky pick or something, like this blade that's about to come out. It gets like 1 or 2 people, then you guys just like straight up lose. So I like the fact that you've given them this like plan.
Taylor. He's on me.
Nice bash.
Still Lucio.
Nice, nice boot. Or nice stun, rather.
Very nice bash.
Flying. Sorry, projected. Push forward. Easy.
You say easy.
Easy. That looked really hard from my standpoint here.
Goats here. Snaking around to the right through that first very spammy room.
Then
Um,
through dark.
Okay, actually, hang on. I missed this the first time. I like the fact that you say sneak around through the very spammy room and your plan is to do it anyway. Let's talk about this when you get back, because I have questions about why that's your plan.
I think what they wanted to do, like, you go through security, go through, like, dark hallway and take the backside.
Yeah, and then
like, you go back through, like, basically it's like the K art, like the Gladiators King's Row play, but on Hollywood and without a widow, right?
The Mayhem have done this in Overwatch League.
Yeah, like, it's definitely a valid strat. I just think it's funny that you recognize that the room might be problematic, and yet the plan is to go through it. Anyway, carry on.
Yep, behind Gates Cafe, and make them reposition there. Be careful with anti-nades. Listen to Tags' target calls, and yeah.
I mean, you have the personnel to do it, though, because you have D.Va to, like, eat the spam as long as you speed boost through it properly. There's personnel to deal with this plan.
We win this.
Yes.
Do you actually follow through with the plan?
No.
And also, did you talk about if there is spam, who's responsible for doing what and what order of tank cooldowns you're going to use to get through it?
No, it's the game.
No, we did not.
The game's fault. Jeff said he's gonna push out the big update. Remember that? It's gonna fix all of the issues.
I don't anticipate that that's why I'm getting frame drops. It's this game.
No, like, remember, like, the game is so huge now. The game is, like, so huge, and they're gonna, like, fix a bunch of frames and crap. Because, like, some people used to have 300, and now they're only having, like, 100.
That was rude, Lucio.
Rude.
What did that stop sign do to you, bro?
Get ready to go, boys. Oh, we're paused. Rip.
How?
They're, like, running late to the point. I didn't know if they wanted to restart it or not.
You know, it's just, like... Alright, so once we... Listen,
right. I'm just going to let, Tex call it.
Yeah, so we have this plan, we get into a conversation, we get distracted, Moon just runs it up mid.
Yep. Yep.
And look who's over there.
I mean, yes. Also,
I think at this point, we're just gonna call it out because we're kind of repeating ourselves. You know what we're gonna say, but, like, Moon, why?
Stick with the team, dude.
Why you do this?
That one guy that's over there going through that room is really good for you, also.
Don't be Tyler 1. Please don't.
Damn.
Why you do this to us?
That was savage. Oh my god. Lucky.
So you can tell on that spot that that's not a person that plays a lot of Doomfist.
Yeah.
You straight up die there, like,
yes.
90% of the time. If he actually has his combos down, you straight up die.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
And once again, gets naded, runs in to finish kills.
When the Doom does that, you should be having the fear of God putting you. You should be way back there.
Yeah. This fight ends up being a little bit of a fiesta. Because you abandon the plan, you get hacked, you are naded, and you finally get out. Thank God they don't, like, push up on you.
That is, like, the luckiest escape, because, like, Elysian bailed you the fuck out pretty much with speed boost.
That was an efficient use of all of your health bar.
Yeah. But now, like, look how, like, kind of awkward this is all laid out, because Tags, you're pushing in. The plan is, like, gone. Now we just need to, like, goats them. But you're up here. People need to, like, start to follow in on you. There's a little bit of a delay. That's kind of like the unfortunate side effects that you guys had this plan and then just completely abandoned it on the spot. How does that Doomfist die?
He was getting swung.
I think he jumps like into the middle of them.
He got like 2 hammers.
So he gets hammer swing twice and then bashed.
Yeah.
Because he tried to punch through the door but hit the wall.
That's why you play the angles.
That's why you play the angles, dog.
Mm-hmm.
He went from having really good play on the break to just die.
Devo's not one, I lied. Devo's on point.
It's a good recovery.
Again, Burger. So, like, watch Burger You go to contest this like Anna, and there's like a Lucio back here and stuff who boops you away.
I mean, okay, to be fair, it's not too bad because if he takes her out of the fight and keeps her from healing the team, like that's
true.
But the boop was unfortunate.
The boop was unfortunate, and like I don't know if that Anna had sleep or not, but like I think 95% of the time you just get slept there and then you're out of the fight.
You should have just stopped his bunny hop out the dumpster and it would have been perfect.
I mean, it's more like, I guess, but you should be kind of following your main tank still and focusing on like what the main tank is doing, like playing goats.
And also the other thing, actually, you guys get slept a lot. So either the Anna's getting really good angles on you, attention to where she is and where she can see you from. And obviously, I would say you're not like timing your shields or anything to like be aware of anti-nade and sleep. Those are two huge abilities, like huge fight-winning abilities that you really have to be a little more mindful of, especially as you play against like better and better Annas. Like they will single-handedly.
They will wreck your soul. Like this, like that solo jump onto that Anna shows me that you don't respect her, which is like it goes both ways. If they're not equipped to deal with you, you kill them like all the time. But
she's been sleeping.
She's been sleeping the shit out of you guys, and you still don't respect her.
Yeah.
We should make him a list of cooldowns to note with the time next to it. Tape them next to your monitor, and then every match.
I mean, that might be going too far, but like
it is too far. But you still
you need to respect your opponents a little bit, because sometimes you go into these situations that you don't need to be in.
Lucio, careful, Lucio.
Lucio on point. He was stunned.
But you guys have like decently outside of the lucky pick onto the Doomfist, the lucky / unfortunate on his part. You guys retain really good target focus.
Okay, Summer one.
You help tags.
Nice. All right, well.
You take this point.
Jenkinsing worked. Who the fuck?
Good recovery.
So let's listen to this conversation.
And that's fine.
Considering we're running into dive, I'm not sure, but we'll keep it for now.
Considering we're running into dive, I'm not sure, but we'll keep it for now. Do you remember what the shatter does for you, Tex?
If I remember right, not a whole lot. I think I might have even shattered into a shield, or like.
You shattered into a dumpster.
Yeah.
Got nothing.
Oh!
Okay. To be fair, the shatter. It's not that shatter doesn't work against dive, but you know, like, it's not the dumpster's fault that you hit it either.
I mean, regardless of the end result. So the lesson I want to teach here is, it's going back to this idea of like we have this plan, and this is the perfect time for you to switch after you've won this fight, and like we're getting ready to attack point 2. Goats kind of struggles on this point, but Goats has been really successful for you guys, so I'm not blaming you for staying on Goats because it's just worked for you guys this scrim. But like if you had this plan, like this is the time to switch and screw the ult economy, because what they need to do, they probably also need to make changes. They're gonna probably be resetting a couple ults here and there, or they're gonna stay stubborn and play something that's like ill-equipped to be on point 2, or play something that's ill-equipped to run into your comp. And regardless of where their ult economy stands, you're just the better comp straight up, and you're just gonna beat them.
I think one of the things to be mindful of here too is, though, to be honest, like they started with their point B comp on point A, so they don't actually really need to change all that much on point B. So yeah, like it's definitely a question of like, all right, do you set your entire ult economy, or like what do you have right now that can counter something that they're going to try to do, and then how do you use your ult to make it happen? Because either way, like the thing about Shatter, either way, they're gonna have to cast you on the point at some point, and they don't have a Rhine, right? So it's like there are definitely opportunities for you to get value out of it. There's also a lot of CC on their team, which makes it really difficult. So it's like, think about how you want to use the tools that you have, and how you're going to do it on this portion of the map that you're going to go into, which is very dive friendly.
Yeah, and I think you get more opportunities to play Shatter and to dive too, because this is a lower elo, and they don't know how to take like these nearby high grounds to like poke you safely from a place that they can't get shattered, and then commit once they have an advantage.
But then again, honestly, they don't have any range DPS, so they can't poke from a distance even if they wanted to anyway, outside of Diva Rockets and like maybe Anna.
Sure.
Keep it for now.
If they had a sniper, I would say you should definitely, but they don't, so
Yeah.
eh.
They just want to play this
Potentially it could work, so let's just see how it goes.
This is unfortunate that Burger is going to sleep, because this is my favorite part of this entire VOD. Outside of you shattering a dumpster, this is my favorite part.
I want to see that, but dumpster shattering.
Watch this.
So is Diva.
This is great.
Alright, I'm gonna dive them. Throw me an orb. 3, 2.
Okay, wait. Okay. Elysian says there's a Winston up there and Diva's with him. And Burger says, I'm gonna take on both of them. Just throw me an orb, bro.
Aye, aye, Captain!
I got this. I'm gonna 2v1 them as a diva.
Let's see where he ends up and what ends up happening, because this also entertains me. Like, just the dilemma that he gets himself into.
Oh, they're all.
Oh, God.
Okay, drop back down, drop down.
Ooh.
A burger,
There's no
burger,
dropping down there.
run! Oh,
You almost got up.
Give me armor time.
Like,
You're playing goats! It's just fucking goats! you death ball and you stick together and you like play behind a shield, and like you and Zarya can like kind of poke really well from behind shield, but there is no reason for you to go up there when there's already 2 people up there and you're playing this death ball comp that wants to stick together.
That said, what their diva does after this is really probably what you should have done, because you're right that it's your job to kind of contest them and harass them because you're the only one with verticality. But instead of diving over here where literally no one can help you because no mobility and no line of sight for your heals, all you have to do is like come here, right? Or even just like go a little bit further out. If you're over here and you're looking up, you wouldn't be poking them, but you can see what they're trying to do and like be in position to act if they try to jump on your team. But yeah, like if you want to get high ground, like I would say this is probably the place to be.
Also, that balcony lets you, like, if they want to like look over the overhang too, you're just right underneath them where you get to like shotgun them with your gun. And you lay in like this surprising amount of damage because you're just literally sitting underneath them, and you just escape at any time. You just drop down and you're with your team and you get healed up again.
Diva is secretly Mercy.
Like this whole balcony, if they want to stay on that high ground, is totally free for you to poke.
It's actually insane how much damage you do just shooting at people's feet from close range.
Yeah, Diva's guns like classify as like these weird shotguns, and they do so much damage when you're so close to people.
Mm-hmm. It's all about them pellets.
It's annoying.
Okay, just hold cart. Who's Diva? Up, Diva's is behind.
Come on, Winston.
I did not know that you can just contest from that top lane.
Yeah, but like see what they do right here? Like this is what we wanted you guys to do on defense. Is like you take like these balconies and you get to poke the cart, you contest it slightly, and they get to like poke in for free. But imagine if Burger still had his Diva mech. You could bump them off there, or you can contest them so they're not allowed to take this area.
Also, on that note, actually, you brought up a good point that just a general point that I wanted to make, which is that, like, honestly, the team that you guys played against, even though you guys beat them, their positioning and, like, just, like, very basic understanding of, like, how certain strategies work, is actually really good. Like if you see their tanks positioned here, and then also on Horizon, the way that they contested you guys when you try to go onto the point, like they understand the rotation that is supposed to happen, and so even if they're not executing it like perfectly, the way that they're doing it is still correct. So I would go back and watch and see what they do and what kind of positioning they're taking, because like they actually do a really, really good job of being in the right place. But like that aside, like they still have like other coordination stuff, which is a lot of why you guys won. But and also they don't know how to anti-goats into goats either, but like, or they don't play it very well, but they have like a good basic grasp of what you're supposed to do.
This is a team you guys can actually learn a lot from if you watch, like the VODs and stuff. And I'm gonna keep them in mind in the future because I feel like these guys are very great scrim partners for you. Just like this right here is something like just people in general don't really grasp.
Yeah.
Like this is very good from them.
Lucio's just hanging out on top of store.
But it's just fucking goats. It's just fucking goats.
Here comes Vaughn.
That sucks for you though.
Yeah.
Tags.
Stack.
Hacked. Booped. Dead.
The Ryan life.
That's Ryan life, dude.
It? How do you like it?
I've been
No,
there.
I don't like it at all.
You gotta have a very thick skin to play main tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucio's just
Jesus
hanging
should
out
use
on
bubble right there.
Monkey.
You gotta be okay with hurting, I think.
Yeah.
Right now.
Elysian, my boy.
Main tank has taught me that I need to be way more aggressive in calling out.
You're pulling a moon, my friend. What are you doing here?
Wait, where is he?
See the green
And
circle?
there's him.
That's Elysian.
Oh my god.
No. Oh.
Reddit Lucia.
What the fuck? I can't see him because of like the like the ad banner.
Yeah, the more videos
Like,
ad banner.
I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah. You boop the doofus away. Like you save your own life because you have boop, and boop is pretty cool. But like.
But really, he should have killed you there. There were definitely. I'm not gonna lie. We'll go over those in your personal VOD. There were some bits where I was like internally screaming at you, and Coolpup was literally just laughing at me on Discord.
There are some funkers here, that's for sure. But like, if you didn't go up there and you still had this boop, like Tex gets hacked, but you could peel for him right there. Like you can help him out with your own boop.
Oh yeah.
But you use it to you play this aggressive play you don't need to make, and then you use your cooldowns in a selfish manner, and leave your team to die when you're a Lucio, whose job is to keep your teammates alive.
And as a tank, I can call from the speed me out.
Yeah.
Here comes Vaughn. Ouch.
And they just kind of throw a bunch of Qs at the situation.
I have bomb here.
You can watch Seagull's 2-2 Qs if you need an explanation on Qs.
Thanks for the bubble.
Alright.
If your friends have 2
grab
Qs,
bomb.
and your other friends have 2 Qs, how many do you have?
Break that bubble. Break that bubble.
All right, so you're still on goats, but you're doing okay. Like
you're doing okay because they stick to cart. They don't reset themselves to this high ground.
Oh no.
Jesus gets like this sweet grab. Burger gets this really cool bomb, which this is a totally like unintentional combo.
Bubbles down. Bubbles down. Go.
It comes in late too, but like
Deepest one.
it's a little too high. So that's another one of those things where if you guys had planned it out a little bit earlier, you probably would have gotten more value out of it. But that said, the fact that you were behind and didn't get EMP'd also kept like your bomb, despite being late for the grab, zoned their team out of moving in on the EMP. So in a weird way, it was good, but I don't think that was like an intentional play by you.
Amping up, heals on point. Okay, speed. Speed down monkey. Can we speed down monkey? No, we can. Okay. Back to cart.
No. Just like one on
and you play goats.
Okay. Burger,
And you
that's
goats
you.
it up.
Actually,
And then
yeah.
Burger the cart driver.
Left side. see him.
Barrier still. Monkey's here. Can we like die?
Wait, can we just like leave this there for a second? We can all
Do you want to
it.
screen cap this for him?
Yes.
All right.
I would actually here. Let me.
You want to accent it a little bit?
I just like how he's like making a plan going in, and then he's like, "Oh no," and like speeds stuff out.
He gets hacked as he leaves. But like, you just zoom past your tank line. You do this again. You zoom past your tank line, and like, there's this plan to like stagger, but like, you guys needed to commit to it like right away. You guys push up to the point, which is fine. Elysium wants to go further though, but he like, I don't know if there's just this
honesty,
disconnect.
this is really good because you guys holding this door makes it hard for them to come out and contest the point. And while you're doing this, because like you don't actually need your entire team here because they have to walk through the Rhine, right? So this is like this positioning, or the idea of this positioning is exactly where you need to be. This is too far, especially for the support, because you're just gonna die.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Burger and probably, I would guess, Dragon or Jesus maybe. Oh no, Jesus is here. So Burger and Dragon are getting like a free ride on the cart, and Doomfist is out by himself, which none of you have noticed.
You guys called him out on the left side. He left, and he has come back the same way he left.
And like, if he was a better Doomfist, he probably would have just killed all of you. But
I mean,
he doesn't take advantage of this.
If he was a better Doomfist, you guys would have had a lot more problems, like up until now.
Yes. Yep.
I would have not won the first point.
So, yeah. I mean, like, it's fine to like leave someone on the car. Like, I guess it would be Dragon in this situation, just because Moon can push up and you can have two supports with your tank line.
Yeah. It really should be a Legion, but he has beat, so
Yeah.
it probably makes more sense for Dragon here. Like, generally speaking, you want your diva, but in this case, it's like kind of okay because you're holding like this choke, and there's not a lot for him to DM. Like, yeah, like figure out who should be driving cart and why.
Oh nope, that's a lot of people. Never mind. I'm hacked.
As soon as they start to push out, I'm gonna shut
Oh, the dumpster shatter. See, he actually would could have. He did get someone.
No, he didn't.
Big slam.
Yeah, he.
No.
Nope.
Oh.
He didn't
I
get
think
anyone.
that's a diva. Maybe not.
Nope. She was behind the dumpster.
Big slam.
JK.
Feels.
At least you didn't stop yourself from getting a 6-man on Oasis.
Then two of you chase Sombra while there's this fight still.
Who leaves?
I got Sombra.
I mean, that ends up being fine. Like, at least like
Yeah.
you force her out, and like the rest of the team is fine to clean up. That I don't mind as much. That I think is
Okay.
perfectly fine.
I don't mind the play. I kind of mind the timing, but it ended up working, so we're not gonna hurt too much on it.
Yeah.
Careful, monkey. Where'd he go? He's gone. Okay, awesome. Good job.
One on point again?
We don't even need dive.
So there's this Anna.
We just have hold the line.
Oh, Anna.
Where's she? Okay.
She almost gets out,
Nice.
but you guys get her.
Nice.
This is a really cool sequence. I really like this, by the way.
Yeah, this is really good.
Monkey's behind you. Monkey one.
Oh, that's so good. You shift your focus. There's someone that can die like right there, and you're just like, no, we're not gonna push up. We're gonna deal with this, and we're gonna keep.
Awesome. We win.
This is so good.
Also, I feel like you can tell things are going well when people just start screaming character names.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Just like screaming
You know
character
what?
names on repeat.
It's that
like-
passion. You know?
Yep.
oh, this is so good.
Good shit, dude. Good shit.
Doom one. Getting back. Speeding out.
Okay, so here.
Now
here's my-
that's
All right, Dragon. I'm gonna pick on you a little bit. You get caught out by DPS ults a lot throughout the scrim, and in general. I'm gonna say a lot of that is positioning and just like awareness, but like anytime you hear stuff like especially Meteor Strike, he is always going for supports. Sometimes like McCree or Widow, but generally speaking, he's going for supports. With Moira, because you're ulting, obviously you don't have fade, so you can't really get out. What you can do, and this goes for any immobile support. Okay, actually, any immobile hero, or any, like, if you're not confident that you have like mobility to dodge out, ways that you can dodge or like LOS, whatchamacallit, Meteor Strike. So obviously it'd be hard here, but if you change elevation and drop off, the Meteor Strike hits here, and then you take less, like you still take some damage, but you take a lot less damage if you're on the ground. You also want to be playing like these corners.
You can LOS it around a corner too.
Because Moira, as you're ulting, you actually have more speed than you normally would. So what you could do is kind of like try to bait him to land here, and then you just move back once the circle actually appears, and the wall will block it for you. Alternatively, really, well, Jesus isn't, like, is a sub, but whoever is playing Zarya, in this case, probably tags normally.
Very active, yeah.
Should be potentially saving bubble for Meteor Strike, because that's like, we've talked about this before. It's an easy 40 energy. Or like Brigia has like a shield here, and you can try. It's harder with Brig. It's easier with like your.
It's a weird position to coordinate with other people, but like shields are also like a great way. Like
yeah.
A weird outside example: if you're an Orisa and you get caught in a grav and they're gonna like space jam you, if you have shield up, you can actually like throw it kind of in the middle of grav, and if you catch it at like the right angle, the Doomfist actually like doesn't hit anyone. He just hits through the shield.
Yeah. So basically, if you block the center of the circle with a barrier or like a structure of it, like basically any other ult that can be LOS, it blocks the damage for you. So position, like once you hear Meteor Strike, try to position yourself in a way to succeed. You're not always gonna win that fight because it's a stupid ult, but like,
I would always throw it down just to block it, but I'm not thinking about throwing it down in the circle itself.
Yeah, like you see the circle and you can time it because like it's literally like the epicenter of the circle.
You're talking about only on grabs though, dude.
Just in general too. Like you could do it with Orisa.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with the edge of a.
But obviously, you need to have your cooldown up in order to use it. But it's doable.
You can do it.
This is kind of cool with like Jesus frontlining here, and I wish you guys supported him a little bit. He is super high charged, and the fact they don't have like a main tank to like really push into him, and it's like D.Va. D.Va's not gonna push into a high charge Zarya. No way in hell. So
this is actually potentially a fight you can win. Like at least you can help him demech her.
Yeah, like Jesus is literally just this walking laser beam. It's insane.
I love Zarya, man.
Awesome. Play Kyle right now. Play this corner. Just wait for them.
How he melts the fucking
They
shield.
still have no switches. They might be yeah, they've got EMP again. They definitely have EMP, probably bomb as well. That's going to be a big combo for them.
Man, that D.Va should have been called out.
That's a really, really, really good track, by the way, because you're pretty on the dot. The only one you're missing is beat, but that's not really going to impact you as much here.
Yeah, but this is.
They're also going to have okay, I'm hacked.
So many things.
So many things. All the cues.
You gotta have a plan with these bombs. If they're not desperation bombs, you need to have a plan with them. Because you throw them out willy-nilly.
There it is.
The biggest thing, like the biggest problem about throwing bombs like that in a scrim or like any organized game, really, is that there inevitably comes a time when you're like, fuck, I wish I still had my ult.
Yeah. Or like you'll throw the bomb, you'll force them to reposition even further, and then they get to catch a baby D.Va who's trying to remag because she just threw her bomb for no reason.
Yep.
Boom. They're all behind, they're all on back.
Anna down.
I don't think we can win now.
Lucio.
We can't win. Back.
Okay. A, good on you guys trying to help Moon. B, Moon. Why?
For reference, you are here. Elysian is here.
Trying to save you.
Trying to save you. I mean, it's fine. It's a valiant effort. At the same time, you can also kind of recognize when he's a lost cause because you guys are resetting anyway. But I mean, this is a valiant Saving Private Ryan moment.
But like the fact that like I think all of you almost died trying to save him is more of the issue.
You can go to save him, just don't feed.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like, it's hard to find that line.
Sometimes you just gotta let people die or like recognize that you
can't save them. They're dead.
Yeah.
Eli, it's a valiant effort.
Get out. I'm swinging out.
That it's appreciated.
Never say the V word in my presence.
You said it 2 times.
I did. That's for you, Elysian. Fuck Vala.
I'm totally gonna buy a jersey now just to support my boy here.
I ran out of PP for you.
Custom, put his name back, but don't give it to him.
Okay. See, but this is what I mean. Like, the fact that Illusion gets out live here is actually a fucking miracle. Like, Doomfist unintentionally saves you, but really... Like, if he had angled that punch where you would have, like, hit anything, you would have died.
Yep. Gotta respect your opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I have barrier.
Saved by the fist.
Okay, they're going to have... Did they use Netto? I didn't hear it.
I don't think so.
I didn't see it.
Give him the last peek so I can get my officer. There we go. Point.
Alright, we can grab Coalescence or just grab and have Tech swing in.
Yeah.
I'm just going to... I'm honestly just gonna play
Sweet
defensively,
ult planning
wait
you got
for
here.
Another EMP to come
Very
out,
nice
and
ult
then
planning.
clear them.
Ready for EMP.
Oh, one thing I will say though, Illusion, really good ult planning. I would say too though, you should be looking, like as Lucio, so you know they already use EMP, so that's not a big deal. And I don't think there was ever a point where like you had beat when EMP came out, or not a point where it really mattered. But that's something that's really important for you to check because as a support, like especially with the only true defensive ult on the team, you need to be thinking about like, all right, what am I planning to counter with beat that will save a fight, basically. And you need to be thinking about that. So EMP is a big one. Honestly, Meteor Strike can also be a big one if you can say like, no one on your team here is really in danger of dying to Meteor Strike though, because like Brig has a shield, Mora has Fade, you can just skate out. Your tanks aren't going to die from it, so you probably won't need it for that. But definitely be like planning out your own ult as well, like in your mind for like, all right, what Q am I looking for before like I'm going to use my ult.
There's also worlds where like you could do this with Trance 2 where you use them as engagement tools.
Yeah,
especially if you look at a comp like this where it's like there's not, or if they used an ult beforehand that like you would normally be able to save like your beat for.
Yeah.
You can use it as an engagement tool, especially when you just need to win one fight. This is questionable by all of you because tanks get slept and you guys keep engaging anyway.
Yeah. Well.
And again, if this Doomfist was any better,
any good,
one of you would be guaranteed dead. 2 of you would probably die.
Yep.
Ready for EMP right now.
I have no idea how he missed that E.
Exactly. Maybe he's just not used to flicking that hard. I don't know.
So honestly,
landed?
like that point where he uses Meteor Strike, I would be looking to see if I need to use beat. I don't know if you're paying attention to where your team is in order to position yourself to save someone if they needed it.
Yeah, good shield move.
Yeah, good shield.
This is kind of weird though, because now that has spaced you out in a way, and your rest of the team is all back here. So you went from sleeping behind your team to now being like a football field away in front of them.
Did you get booped up there? Do you remember how you ended up there?
I don't.
Did you charge?
Under charge.
Let's see.
Oh, you've been so good.
So you got punched. You got punched toward the cart. Oh, he shattered. Okay.
And then got booped by the Doomfist.
Okay. That wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
It's so hard to have that discipline and know immediately if a shatter is good or not. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good shatter. It's just like, it's very unfortunate that the Doomfistle was right there because it literally prevented everyone from following up on you.
But good call for grab here into the Diva Bomb.
Yeah.
I can't tell who called it, but that was a good call.
Nice! Kill the diva, diva, diva.
That was a combination that ended up being really lucky because it wasn't planned. But like, see how like successful these Diva Bombs are when there's an ult to combo them with? Especially in Goats, because Goats gets like these stupid wipes with Shatter Bomb and Grab Bomb. And because you end up poking a lot, and you hit a lot of things with like Diva Mech Rockets, you build bombs stupidly quick.
Doom's on point. Be careful of Doomfist. Be careful of Doomfist.
There's a lot of healing that you don't really like DM a lot in Goats. You're just dealing damage.
Anna down.
Now Sombra. Monkey.
Really, your job is to like sleep Anna, or like not sleep, sorry, eat
forward.
Anna stuff, and then like
Very
kill
nice.
things.
Doom's back.
That was really good again when you've taken charge of the comms and given out these instructions. We're going to kill this thing first, this thing second, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want more of that. I want more of it. It's so good.
Is that something I should continue doing on like DPS or?
I think it's something you could do on DPS. It's a lot harder from your position because you're not like leading the charge.
And you also won't be able to see as easily.
You can't think about it in terms of like what you're playing, because obviously as main tank you feel like you want to talk about it. But in DPS you can totally come in at the end and you know that the comms are kind of stagnant and say, kill this, kill that, and we're all just gonna fall.
And like anyone can like take charge of comms and like target call like that, no matter like what like role you're playing, as long as like hopefully someone does it, because it gives you guys organization in your fight. And every person, regardless of role, should be focusing on that target anyway, or in the case of the supports, you keep people alive so that they can focus on those targets.
I'm totally fine with you coming in towards like that middle to end part of the fight and then, hey, kill this, kill that.
So like when Elysian like calls for this plan, and then we have Freddy calling and engage, and then once the fight happens, like you take over.
Okay.
Like that could be like a hierarchy, but this is something like you three really need to like work out.
But yeah, I think with all three of you it'll be good because then you'll have a tank, a support, and a DPS on the same page. And then you guys can like within your kind of role duos kind of communicate with whoever your partner is that you're playing with. And then one other thing too, like if you decided like everyone's killing the Rhine, but there's this Anna here, and I'm gonna try to zone her out. Just say like, "Oh, I'm on the Anna. I'm zoning her out." Just let your team know that you're not with them. That's just helpful information to have too, so that like they can tell you if they need you, or like they're aware that they're maybe down resources that they might otherwise be expecting.
Yeah, and at the same time too, like zoning people out like that, especially on like a tank, is like a really good thing because you push multiple people away from the fight, and they can't support their team, and hopefully that gives you into numbers or like some sort of advantage in the main fight. But again, just make people aware that you're not there with them, that you're busy zoning other people out of the fight.
Yeah, overall, really good shit.
Yeah, and this whole scrim was really good though, because we saw noticeable improvement. We saw you guys be willing to have these plans and then discard them when things have changed, both in good and in bad. But it shows there's a willingness to like flex around and try to like deal with problems that come up. And then you also recognize like, hey, they can't beat goats. Let's just play goats.
Yep.
Which is a legit strategy. They're like, yeah, they can't beat this. We're just gonna play this.
It feels like a dumb strategy, but if it's working,
this works at the highest level of Overwatch.
it works at every level.
It works at every level. Just sometimes fucking play goats. Do
Gator,
either of you have?
Gator should fucking like copyright that.
Yeah. Do either of you have any questions?
I don't think so. I always think of some 2 hours after VOD reviews, but I don't think I have any right now.
Well,
We are here.
I feel like I gotta step my game up because y'all played so well without me. I gotta make sure I'm not slowing the team down now. Goddamn.
you guys did have a really good sub, but I also made him play hit scan, which is not his forte.
I will say though, when you get good subs, even if they're mechanically not there, like he's gonna have the game sense of whatever rank he's at, which could be helpful. But I don't think he like contributed that much to comms.
He didn't talk to comms at all, but his positioning in a lot of situations was really good. When he played Zarya, he followed you on Ryan, and he kept you alive, and he knew spots where he could poke and like gain like charge.
Without being in danger or taking too many resources.
And he knew when he could pressure like safely because no one could pressure him back. Like going back to the whole like wherever he was, like I think it was.
Yeah. All of those things will still make a difference, like even if it's not.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
Awesome. We win these.
Where's he? Okay.
Might have been before
He's
this.
gone. Okay, awesome. Good job.
That's your Saria homework. Burger, watch this, guys.
We just have
POV, I guess.
just have
Yeah.
Oh,
I like he. Remember that one where I pointed out where he was like this giant laser beam and like this diva can't push into him? Like it's like things like that where he doesn't really play Zariel that much, but like he has
Like,
the experience and he knows.
Yeah, he knows where he needs to be to make things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, really good job this week. I think definitely. I mean, okay, a couple of things like the team was much closer in SR to you guys, but they were still higher, so still good job. And like we said, like the other team, I think I talked to their like team captain or manager, and they're also new, but I would never have guessed that because the way that they were positioning as a team, it like someone's been like their coach has been explaining stuff to them really well. So I would definitely go back and take a look at how they position, especially on maps where you guys didn't do so well. Like Horizon would be a really good one.
Hanamura.
Things like that, Hanamura, where they were, and kind of like think through how you could have approached it differently to prevent it from happening again. Because the way that they positioned was like stellar, honestly.
They have. This is weird because you look at like that Doomfist and it's like their mechanics aren't all there, like their hero pool isn't there, but like they got big brain.
But they have the right.
Someone been telling them things.
They have the right idea. And like all they need to do is like honestly, once that guy learns Doomfist, like they'll be scary on that too.
The Sombra did a good job. A decent enough job, mostly because she didn't get pressured too much from you guys. But like this is pretty much like the anti-goats comp almost.
Mm-hmm.
If they learn how to play this, like they'll be cool. Yeah. And maybe that's something you guys can aspire to do too eventually. I guess homework. Cater, even though you didn't play the scrim, I think in general you guys could work on goats a bit now that like Freddy's gonna be back and hopefully Cater will be back.
Confirmed back for Friday.
Back for Fridays.
Hey, nice.
So I guess tags will be going back to the Zarya and the goats comp, and then that means Cater needs to play Brig. And then Freddy, like Reinhardt.
And then I think outside of that, think about what worked really well this week. Why it worked well and how you can continue doing it and also like how to get there in game too, right? Because I think it's really easy sometimes to like make plans beforehand and like talk about it in VOD review, like it's like just plan fights forehead, but like in the middle of the game it's a lot easier said than done.
Plus,
and I mean like we recognize that, and you guys know that too.
Yeah. Plus, you guys plan multiple things and then just totally threw it away.
Which, again, totally fine.
Totally fine. If like things change, like weird shit happens, or like someone steps like out of position, then all of a sudden the plan falls apart. That's fine. Feel free to shift gears and do things like that.
Just make sure everyone's on the same page.
Make sure people are on the same page. And maybe every now and then try to commit to a plan.
Try to commit to the actual plan that you had planned.
Yeah.
If only to practice it and see how it works and what the downfalls are.
Because you guys talked a lot about making all these plans. Like, how many of these plans actually did you guys plan and then like execute in the scrim? Do you remember?
I know we did one on Hollywood, which was play goats for the last point.
Nah.
And then goats again on attack for last point.
How long did you and Elysian sit down through custom games and think of things?
It was like probably 20 minutes.
I gotta join y'all on those.
That wasn't a lot of time.
Yeah, no,
I thought you guys were gonna be there for like an hour or two and like scripting all this shit out, and then you guys end up doing one of them in your script.
No,
I was gonna be like, you're gonna commit the time to that. You guys gotta execute.
Their plan was, let's just play Ghost.
Clearly.
Like for Hollywood, we actually had 3 different like routes of attack in case like the first one then we were gonna fall back to like flanking around to the backside mega like through there, and then if that didn't work, by the time both those didn't work, it was probably like we just had to go straight to point. So
then you ended up just
goats.
Just goats.
Yeah.
If I'm not working,
ghosts all over them.
I'll join y'all on those.
Yeah, we're gonna try to start doing it like I would like to do it like the Thursday before scrims.
That's like
just kinda...
the greatest time for me. I'm always off there with it, so.
Yeah,
awesome.
Normally like, cause I fill for another team on Tuesday and Thursday, so I'll be out at like 12 Eastern. I don't know if that's all right with you.
That's the only time he's alive.
I'm on West Coast time over here, good sir.
Nice.
In Eastern Florida, West Coast time.
But anyway, I think like I said, like I hope you guys felt the difference in like the prep work and the time that you put in beforehand, and like the difference that it made in the scrim itself, because we definitely noticed it. And overall, just like winning aside, it really is like the adjustments that you guys made during the fights and from between maps that was like the most exciting to see, for sure.
Yeah, like watching you guys adapt and like have that first Hanamura game be like kind of go off the rails, but then just immediately bring it back. Like that felt really good to watch. And like Hollywood is like a great example. It goes to show like you guys won this map, #Scrimbucks, but like look at how much stuff you guys can improve on.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hope this makes you excited, because it's like, oh, we're doing pretty good. We can do even better.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then on top of that, like I know we give you guys like this homework and stuff. It's something I kind of want you guys to be a little bit more of. I know comp sucks. You don't really have to play comp. Just find some time to like practice on your own and focus on your own improvement. Because who said it? Someone said it. Who's the other coach, dude? Mochi?
Mark? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always time to just focus on self-improvement, too. And I think, like, improving your own game and then bringing what you learned for yourself into the team helps to elevate the team a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah, which
is totally something like me and Lyris can attest to, because we spent a lot of time self-improving, and then like things that we learned we brought back to our team, and it made our team that much better.
Well, yeah, and I mean like, and this is a big part of why we're coaching now, is like, we spend way too much time thinking about Overwatch, but also like, like a lot of the stuff that we're explaining to you, like when I talk about speed boost, and all of that kind of thing. That's just from playing and from playing against a lot of Genjis.
Yep.
And why I hate Genji.
Or learning to like identify problems before they happen on Diva, like that just came from all the times where I got caught out trying to be stupid aggro while my backline dies. Like, it's experience that gets you there, but
yeah,
and you gotta put in the time.
Also, like playing together really helps too, because there's a lot of stuff that I know for me, like, because the two of like I've played with Cool Pup so much, there's shit where he's just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this." Like, when you have someone there to help call you out on your mistakes, like that helps too, and just make sure you're ingraining like the right habits for good play, and it'll help a lot.
But like I said, overall, the scrim was like fantastic. This is my favorite scrim so far.
By far, yep.
Yeah.
And I hope it was all the same for you guys.
You sure it wasn't when I shattered into a signpost?
Listen, he shattered into a dumpster. Like,
you got competition now.
Brothers in arms here.
I don't think anybody will top mine.
Had to keep up the legacy.
Yeah.
Shattering into inanimate object.
NA shatters, lol.
Oh yeah. Get dumpstered.
Get dumpstered.
Literally. But it was.
I'd rather get dumpstered than signposted.
I don't know, man.
I got signposted up.
Made me feel like actual garbage.
The dumpster made you feel like garbage.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it was definitely like one of my favorite scrims, because like the main thing I've been working on in comp, well, not only like main tank, but like my actual comms, and I felt like I definitely spoke a lot more than any other scrim.
Yeah, I noticed.
Like these comms are really good. These comms are clean, and when you have clean comms, and that eventually trickles down into target focus and eventually into proper planning and execution, like then you become this like crazy team. And then all of a sudden, you're taking on these diamond teams that like they have the mechanics, but they don't have the structure in place like you guys do, and you're taking down teams that are like 500 SR above you.
Yeah, like honestly, if we had the same comms that we did, Friday, we could have easily beat the team that I filled for. Like without a doubt, like absolutely rolled them, because they have a comm structure, but like they don't use it at all. Like their main tank never calls. They don't track ults, and they're like a 3.5k team average. And yeah, we definitely could have rolled them.
There you go. That's something to aspire to. And it shows how like close like Overwatch can be, and how like a structure and a plan in place just like takes over these games at times.
I mean, honestly, I don't know how much you guys have been watching like the Overwatch World Cup viewer stuff, but like just I was watching like Short 4, like Canada versus UK, I think. I was watching a lot of his POV, and honestly, a lot of it is like it surprised me with how uncomplicated it is sometimes, and it's so much of it is honestly down to coordinating with your team and timing and being where your team needs you to be at the right time, and like doing what your team needs you to do in order to win the fight. Like I know like Short 4 talks a lot about like how it's all about the team and all of that, but it's like I think actually seeing how he does it himself, like in his play.
And like if you watch like a Sombra or like some pro like that, like you sure they might be like mechanical gods on like ladder, but like even then like they don't show like anything crazy mechanically. It's just timing of these abilities and just having this plan, and then recognizing how best to execute their plan, whether it's like, oh, I want to like do this EMP, but this diva is like trying to spy check away and she's not going to get caught in the EMP. Let's hack her first, then EMP the rest of the team. Like something stupid like that, right?
And also others, like one other thing, like, I mean, this is pretty specifically from Short 4 because I haven't had the time to like look at one yet, but one other thing I noticed him doing is like, so because Canada was playing Pharmacy like on Junkertown, for example, instead of like in terms of prioritizing his hack targets. Like he was hacking the D.Va and the Zarya, which were really the only two things in like goats that can counter Pharah, like to any extent. And it just created so much room for agilities to completely like dumpster the rest of UK, and like build barrage really quickly that like even small things like that actually made such a big difference because it meant XQC and Note didn't have to create space for agilities like Sure4 was doing it on DPS. And so like I think that goes to show just like all of your cooldowns and like the stuff that you can do with them, be thoughtful about how you use it because like I mean we say that like in general tanks take space, but like DPS can do it too and supports can do it too. You just need to think about how you can help your teammates do their jobs so that you can all win.
Yep. Team game. Team game. Alright. That's all I got. That's all we got.
Yep.
All right.
Let us know if you got any questions.